My phone on this charger isn't gonna quite cooperate. We are.
Let me get this music real quick.
Oh, we got music today? Dope.
Well, you know, I had it on. I don't think you can hear it too much. But I was gonna use my phone as well.
Is it gonna be like a theme song to today's topic? Nah, that'd have been dope. That'd have been some dope shit. Like
it would have been. I was concentrating on other stuff. Yeah. I don't even know if I can think of anything that I would have put out there.
I feel like I need an air purifier in my loft.
You need a humidifier.
Yeah. Because I'm always like sniffling when I'm up here.
They have the floor model ones. I mean the floor ones. All right. Where's she?
Is that your music?
Girl, no. That was my speaker. But I wanted this to play. You can hear, but then it kind of like dimmed out, and I don't know why. I don't know. My second. Oh, that's what it is. My second speaker is not up that loud. But I don't want it to echo either.
Yeah, that's why I turned my phone down. Notify that. I don't have to do that. Oh, I have to do that. All right. That's ready.
He's ready?
Mm-hmm. Y'all hear that?
How was your day today? Let's get that started.
My day?
Uh-huh.
Awesome sauce. Yeah. Hey, Aunt. It was good. It was busy as fuck, but it was definitely it was good. I got this little shawty that has yet to understand who is new in the building. She is trying it. Today I told her, I said, I don't really like your nitpicky attitude. And what I'm going to say is after we see these 42 patients, I want to see you out into the break room.
Let's talk about it. Hard already?
No, I just want to talk. I feel, see, in the past, it would have made me feel like a comment like that would have made me feel like, tag, you know, it's me like everywhere I go. It's just, at the end of the day, I'm not making no apologies for my personality. It is what it is. It's strong. It's outspoken. I actually think that when on first impressions, I can rub people the wrong way. But then I feel like I typically, if it's another strong-headed person, outspoken person, that we typically can hash it out, and it's like, oh damn, you're really dope. Like, and I'd be like, yeah, you know, it's like, all right, well, I kind of misunderstood your personality, if you will. But she's one of those ones. She's like a dictator, and
maybe she has a strong personality too,
and she wants to micromanage. She can do that. She's not my manager. There's that. The end. Like, I'm not gonna, don't stand over me. Let me learn the process. Let me make my mistakes, right? But you're not gonna dictate how I learn my way around here. You're not gonna do that. Like, it's just never going to happen. That's another, listen, we'll talk about it another time. Now ain't time. Hey, folks. Hey, Aunt. Aunt, you sure can get on the Zoom, sweetheart. Once we do our little 3-minute blurbs, that's typically how the, oh, Natalie, you make me so sick. That's typically how we start this off. You see her comment?
So
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so after we do our little 3-minute blurb is typically when we just kind of open it up to y'all. And if you want to come into the room, or if you want to just comment, and then, you know, we're really doing our best to kind of pay attention to the comments, give everybody their just due. And so, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to read things because I like to actually give y'all shout outs when y'all are in the room, because y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all chose to be here with us at 7 o'clock.
Hey.
Also, what I want to say is, because I don't think we said this before, listen, y'all may have seen us every Thursday that we're on, like sipping. Please know that most times it's not water.
It's
so
too late.
Feel free to grab y'all drinks and y'all cocktails and come into the room, because it makes it a little more exciting. It's a little more, you know, it just makes it opens it up a little more. It makes it loose. I like it.
Is that your open it up dance? Open it up.
That's my thing.
Oh.
And now I feel like I don't put too much ice in my tequila, because maybe not. I don't know. Y'all shall know in 15 minutes. So today's topic, colorism in the Black community. Colorism while Black is what I like to call it, right? My blurb is going to be really, really, really short, only because the other two ladies have stories that I don't have. I can honestly say that growing up, I never heard certain things that they've heard, little passive aggressive, if you will, comments about the external appearance and how it attaches to the color of your skin. So it's kind of like one of those backhanded things like, oh, you're a cute butt, or oh, you would be cute if, or like, I didn't go through that. However, I was in the shower this morning, I was thinking about this this podcast, and I was thinking, have I ever experienced colorism, even though I didn't get that whole sort of experience? And I can remember, so my parents had 3 of us. I have 2 older brothers. One is deceased. His birthday is next week, actually. And then me, and I'm the baby. So my father, my mother, both my brothers are darker toned. And I'm a little on the lighter side. Never, ever thought I was like lighter, much lighter than them, but I was lighter than them. And I remember as an adult, my mother, like in my 20s, maybe even 30s, my mother saying things like, I would go over her house and she'll be like, she'll play in my hair and she'll, you know, so she'll play in my hair. I may have just uncovered or like unveiled a whole trauma, because when I think about it, I'm like, that was quite ignorant. But anyways, we'll get on that later. My mom saying stuff like, look at you, you all red. And I was like, I didn't used to give this response, right? But it was like, when I was in the shower this morning, I was like, red? Like, to get that she was speaking of my skin tone as if it didn't sort of match with the rest of the family. And I was like, I've heard red bones before. When I grew up in school, they used to use that term, like, oh, I got red bone. I know nowadays it's yellow. One of my closest friends, Lamar, homeboys, he loves using that term. Oh, I gotta give me a yellow. I gotta have a yellow. But like, I remember kind of back in the day, the term being red bone. So my mother literally used to call me a red bone. And I'm sitting here looking in this camera right now, y'all. I never thought that. So I knew it was her just saying I was lighter than all the children the other 2 children she had given birth to. So now when I think about it, I actually went through colorism. being my own mother, right? So, but at the end of the day, I can't say that it really had a negative impact on me, though now as an adult, I see where she was clearly in error, right? And then, other comments about my hair when I decided to go natural and stuff like that. And the only thing I attached that to was the fact that, a lot of baby boomers, that's what our parents are, they, it's just a certain level of ignorance there in regards to the languaging that they use about our hair and our skin tone and things like that. And they don't really have any politically correct terms, for, well, you went natural. I'll never forget, I went to her house one day and I had a twist out, and it wasn't, oh, you went natural, I like your hair. It was like, oh, look at your nappy hair. And I was like, so when I think about it, I'm like, you're my mother, you're a whole Black woman. And that this is how my hair came out. This is how my hair grows in when I came out your vagina. Like, you permed my hair at 9 years old and made it manageable or whatever, or for whatever reason you put a perm in it and relaxed it. However, this is what it is. So anyway, so that's that. So that's my story. And I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. I'm interested to even hear from the guys who actually can be honest, stand in your shit and be like, yeah, I like them light. I don't like darkies. Like, use your words that you normally would use, because at the end of the day, this is about healing. We don't want you to be faking it. If that's what you prefer, that's what you prefer. We still gonna call you ignorant. It's ignorant. It must stop. It has to stop. It's the only way that we truly begin to get to a sense of unity, right? So I'm gonna hand it off to one of the other girls, but I really want to hear from you guys about, what your experiences are. The women, if you've experienced some colorism, then I definitely want to, on a negative side, then we want to hear from everybody. So.
I'm gonna let you have the floor, but I just want to say something real quick. I missed the memo of being Afrocentric today. I mean, y'all just come through like that.
No, first of all,
nobody gave me the memo.
When I showed up, I didn't have earrings on. I didn't even have on this wrap. You said to me, where your earrings? You just look so bland. So I went and turned up the Badu, bitch. That's what you told me to do. I did it. And I'm going to give it all to you.
And India Ari came through like bam. Like, I mean.
This is how I live. Y'all know this is my life. This is my life for real, Trace. You know that. Okay. So when I was probably like 12, one of my good friends, Tiffany, and she was gorgeous, light skin, pretty hair, light eyes. We were walking to the store, Binko on Bennett Road. Yes, little Southeast baby. We walked to the Binko and we was outside. We had on our little matching outfits. And I had on my little outfit. She had on her little outfit. And we walked past these grown ass men. We were probably like 14, maybe. And one guy said, that one there, Lord, if she wasn't chocolate, she'd have fucked this world up. She would have been something else. She would have been something else.
You're canceled.
When she rose up. And his friends, the peanut gallery, hanging outside the Benco, you old dirty fuckers, going chime, man. Yeah, man, too bad.
Too bad.
None of them were light complected. It spent me. Me, Tiffany, laughed it off, went in the store, did our thing. But I laughed it all with Tiff because, I mean, that's what you do. But it rocked me later on. Like, I could have been. She would be a bad joint. Because, at that 14-year-old age, you're starting to want to know that you got a little something, that you catch your eye. That is what it is. But at such an early age, for me to get something like that, it kind of stuck with me. And then from there on, like I would have great dates with guys, go out with guys. I can't believe I'm really dating somebody as dark as you. Like I ain't never vibe with nobody that was dark skinned. Like you, man, you must got me open, yeah. I don't normally do dark skin joints. This is someone who was so far into me, who proposed, who really like, yeah, I don't normally, nah.
Oh.
Child.
Oh.
So
Oh, okay.
I say that to say like colorism is a real thing. And I'm sure that it's not just, for us dark skinned sisters. Like I'm sure that, there are light skinned women all the time that I hear. Tiffany was a great friend to me, but she thinks she liked that. And we neither one of us thought we was anything, but she thought she was like that because she was red, and I thought I was like that because I walked a certain way. I'm sorry, my mama raised me to be proud. I don't have time to hold my head low, but I'm sure that they also have things that they can come on and speak of, but it really, really made me feel a type of way, but never to the point where I felt the need to do bleaching of my skin and things like that. And this is not just a US issue. This happens in South Asia, Dominican Republic, Latin America, Africa, the Caribbean. And the number one selling product in those countries are bleaching creams. So this is not just a US issue. This is a worldwide issue where people of darker complexion have been made to feel lesser than, like white is always right. When you get married, you wear all white. It's the celebration of new life. When someone dies, you put on your all black. You know what I mean? Like it's just small depictions of things being darker, meaning something negative that I feel like over time, little by little, build up to what we deal with on a daily basis. So, that's
Interesting.
Most definitely. I feel as though, and I'm piggybacking off of what you said. It starts from way back in the day, back in slavery days, because the lighter ones was the house niggas, and the darker ones was outside of the house in the field. So that's where the negativity started from the beginning, and it carried on through us, and it shouldn't have. You know, those white people started that. Those prejudiced white people started that, and we carried that out and kept it going because they thought that, the lighter you are, the more privileged, the more better you are. And it's a stigma that actually carried out through generations and generations. Um, my family is a blend, light skin, dark skin, brown skin, everything. I just found out with my great grandmother, which is full blood Indian, and her husband, or my great grandfather, was as dark as the bottom of your shoe. She didn't like darker complected people. She didn't want her grandchildren, great grandchildren, no one being dark. And she showed that hate towards them. I've had situations with me where I never forget I was working at Giant. I was like 20 years old. And this older man, probably in his 50s at that time, used to come through my line. I was a cashier, and he literally come through my line. My line could be all the way down back to seafood, and he was standing in that line. And he was like, hey, he'll say, hey, Tracy, how are you? Da da da, and go about his business. This one particular time he came through my line, and I was just about to it was my last day. And I said, oh, this is my last day. He was like, wow. He was like, I wish I could have got to, get to know you a little bit better. You're a nice, genuine person. He was like, I'm gonna say this, but I don't want you to get offended when I tell you this. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, I just want to let you know you're very pretty to be a dark-skinned woman. And at that age, I'm 20 years old. I'm like, what is he saying? Like, I'm not pretty, or am I pretty? Like, I'm confused now. Like, dark-skinned women not supposed to be pretty, or what's going on here? And I literally just shut down. And that was my first experience when it came to someone, you know, uh, putting that stigma as far as dividing me, as far as like being beautiful and the shade of my skin. like you're not supposed to be pretty. And I really, it stuck with me for a long time. Anything like that, especially to certain people don't understand, that can actually break somebody, and people not realize that.
No, absolutely, which is why, she has said that bleaching creams and methods are so very prevalent in certain, countries, cultures, because it literally works on the psyche.
Yeah.
But what I do want to say is this: you said something about like going all the way back to our ancestors who were enslaved and stuff like that. And while there are certain things that happen to us, I am willing to accept as a mental trauma. There are certain things I'm really not. And this we have to know better to do better. And it sounds cliche, but the fact of the matter is none of us were fucking enslaved, right? So as a man, as a Black man who has come from a Black woman, who likely has Black aunts, who may have even procreated and had a Black daughter, I'm disgusted if you're looking at your daughter in an inferior way to someone that's lighter than her. I doubt that it happens. So how dare you, when it comes to another woman on the outside that may not be attached to you, look at her in that way. Like, at the end of the day, you know the shit ain't right. You know it's whack. You know it's clown shit, because at the end of the day, you Black. So I don't know how it rests upon the shoulders of a Black woman for her dark skin to be inferior. Like, as a Black man, are you ugly as fuck? Is your skin inferior to a white man? Is your skin inferior to a European, a Chinese? Like, is it? So how did it rest on the shoulders of Black women that, oh, when your skin tone gets to a certain shade, you are inferior? I'm lost. Explain it to me. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Meanwhile, Black women out here lobbying like shit for Black men. I like them dark. I want you purple. Like, I love your skin. I love the darkness of it. I love the creaminess of it. I never in my head. And I come from the same ancestors as you. So can I sit here and be like, oh, well, we come from a history of where we were taught, and it was engraved in our head that if my skin was my color, I had to work outside, and another woman was lighter than me and she worked inside. Like, do you understand what I mean? Like, we come from the same ancestors. However, why is my idea, my feelings of my Black brother's skin different from my Black brother's thoughts of my skin? What the fuck? I don't get it. I
get people stupid. Having a preference. I get that totally.
That ain't preference.
But I get what you're saying. But some people have a preference. But when you simply say, oh, this person is beautiful, but if they was light skinned, like, they would have been better. I don't get that part. I know people have a preference when you come to, like, it's first sight and, what you're attracted to. I get all of that. But to actually discriminate against someone because of their shade and not give them a chance at all, and you probably are attracted to them, and you probably think they are pretty, or you probably think they are handsome, but you're not going to actually pursue them, or actually you have an issue with them just because of their skin color. I have an issue with that, especially if we out here fighting against other races that's fighting against us. We should not definitely be fighting against each other when it comes to that. Like, that's insane to me. And the men do it too. I don't want nobody to sit here and tell me they don't, because if the men hate on each other too. Dark skin, light skin, y'all do it all day long. Y'all can fake and act like you don't want to, but you do. I see it all the time.
Who can access the meme that she has shared the other day? Because I want to read it verbatim. The one that discusses how Black men and every other race of woman.
I posted it, honey. Listen.
Oh, did he?
That brother. It was a
did he go in?
I was proud.
So So I can't get to it because I'm on my phone watching
I
comments.
did. Let me see if I can get it real quick.
So essentially, it basically discussed how Black men are the only race of men that will pick any other race of women and put them inferior over Black women.
But there you go. That's with the skin color.
The only other man. I can't expect to go somewhere with a whole bunch of white men and them consider me superior over a white woman that may be in the room. I can't do that with other races. But likely, you found it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what does it read?
It says, can we talk about how the Black men allow white and Latina women to feel like an upgrade over Black women?
Mm-hmm. That's the one. That's the one I want to talk about. I don't want to talk anymore. This is what I want to do. I want to open up the comments, right? Y'all got anything else to say? I done told y'all how this is gonna go. I don't like it. Listen. Hey y'all. Oh, we got a lot. Ooh, damn niggas say shit like that. They actually do. And they really do. Derives from white supremacy. Same answer as I said, white supremacy, sure. However, as a 40-year-old man, do you still adapt to the Jim Crow ideology of, any white woman that I come across is way more beautiful in my eyes than a Black woman? Like, do better. Like, I don't get it. Please, let's do it. So listen, I see y'all commenting. I do. And I might be a little chinky eye, right? So this is what I want to do. I am going to read some comments. However, how many y'all want in the room now? You want like 2 people at a time? Maybe 5 minutes?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So we're going to let 2 people on.
Wait a minute. Lonnie said, can we stop saying all Black men? I get it.
No, I didn't say all. And if I did, it's the tequila, Lonnie. Otherwise, I think that you're deflecting because I don't think that we said all Black men.
Right.
I think what we said was Black men because we are expecting that protection from you. I'm not about to say men because I don't give a damn about a white man's thoughts of me, his views of me, his protection of me.
I guess he wants you to put some in front of it.
I don't want to. I want to say Black men. I want to say Black men. Because that is my expectation of Black men. Now, there are many Black men that actually love the ground we walk on. But I'm saying, Black men, I want all of y'all to love the ground that we walk on. Period. That's it. Black men.
No matter what shade.
Black men. I'm just calling on y'all. I don't think nobody used the word all. Lonnie, but if we did, that was totally a misspeak and whatever. We're gonna move on.
Henry,
Black men,
but
right?
Yeah, Henry, I totally agree. It doesn't. I know a lot of Black men are not like that, but I've ran into a lot of. Huh?
What did Henry say?
Basically, he was like, it definitely doesn't represent the majority of the Black men. I don't know about majority. I don't know what poll you took. So.
If it don't represent the majority, how can we have 3 women in a room? That's 3 to 3 that can share similar stories. That says to me, if I put 10 women in the room, 8 of them gonna say that's their experience. Nah, yeah, sure it is. Absolutely. It is the majority. What we doing? Listen. It starts with the light skin versus dark skin shit people do. We got to stop that, Lonnie. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, today. Yeah, right now. Got to do it.
Really?
Corey said they did us dark skinned guys the same way. I was tar baby growing up. See, and here's the thing, like, I want to hear if guys actually went through that. Because at the end of the day, we all are fighting the same fight, but as Tracy said, we want to talk about the colorism in the Black community, meaning that we're getting it from our own kind. Like, we ain't really here to talk about whether or not we hear from the other races or what they think of us. We know exactly what they think of us. We're talking about whether or not you got this. If you got tar baby from another Black person, a woman, a man, like, that's whack. It's absolutely ignorant.
Corey said, thanks, Nino Brown. Yes, you best believe it. I wasn't sexy to Keisha from Belly, baby. Please get into it. Note.
Thanks, Aunt. I didn't think I said all, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. So listen, I'm not sure that I missed any comments. Listen, and I love y'all. I really do. But I'm trying to tell you, I should put fire behind my name because y'all understand it.
I definitely want to get a light skinned and a dark skinned man to
it
get
boils
on
my skin.
or
It boils my blood. I'm trying to tell you. Well, for the minority of Black men who do feel that way, thank you for the caps in minority. I think it goes deeper than they look. They may feel that Black women act certain way. I knew that was my.
Yeah.
They feel that Black women act a certain way because of that, and then they comment on the physical. So now Black women act stupid, roll their necks, snap their fingers, and act hood, and lighter women don't do that.
use a lie.
Oh, okay.
I've seen
I've been seeing some of the most.
young ladies act a fool. Matter of fact, I just saw a video of them acting a whole Black ass fool at the motherfucking Spirit airline. Listen, I don't really.
So Corey says, but there's differences between light-skinned and dark-skinned people. Sorry, but there is. Lonnie said, what's the difference? Corey said, maybe because how we are treated in our early age before we was accepted. So like a trauma. So it's sort of like it's like
a trigger.
You are what your environment was, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I think that's where he's going with that. But listen, please, who wants to come on, hit the inbox, comment right there. I'd rather y'all speak what you want to say or speak your piece than to read the comments, because no lie, y'all, it can be challenging, and I don't want anybody to feel slighted. Oh, Tasha Marie said, yep, I saw that Spirit Airline video. Ridiculous. I don't want to see it. I'm so happy.
That no light skin joint went off, baby.
Because I think I'd have shared it and sent it to Lamar. Aunt wants the link. All right, Aunt.
I'm just going to read this while y'all sending Aunt the link.
Okay.
So, in 2006 and in 2016, so Black men experienced this too. A blind study was done at the University of Georgia, and it found that companies or employers chose light-skinned men over dark-skinned men, regardless of their qualifications, 75% of the time. This study was done twice. They put these men out there with the same resume or giving the dark-skinned male a better resume, okay? And they both sat down for an interview, were keyed in to answer the questions very similar, in a similar manner, and the light-skinned male got chosen 75% more of the time. So it's this bad.
Well, so essentially, I think what you're talking about is like corporate America shit, right? Right. But we know who the majority of corporate America is. So again, my expectation of them is different than my expectation of us on us.
I just say that study to say, when you have men who are going through this, because a lot of the men who feel this way about dark-skinned women are dark-complected men. What I'm leading this down the road I'm leading down is when you are when you are already having things stacked up against you, it tends to build, like, you know, Corey said, you start to build a different type of skin and you start living life in a different type of way because of how life is being molded for you. So I just want to know from them, is it life experiences? Like what brings you to this point? What gets you here? You know, is it those types of things?
Lonnie said he wants in too.
Okay.
No, Lonnie. I'm not saying it's okay. I was just giving us some saying that I know that this also happens to men, because I don't want this to begin to be it's always the dark-skinned women who go through these things. I realize that dark complected people as a whole go through this within our community. I mean, because it didn't say that it was white people who interviewed them per se. Like, we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this could have been a sister or a brother that they were sitting in front of. The point of the matter is that whomever was interviewing them, they weren't chosen.
Do you see him, Tracy?
No.
And that's because
Sean, I don't know. You kind of brown skin. I don't know. What you guys?
Paper bag.
You're doing that right now. No, you're doing it right now.
No, I don't know if because I was about to ask him, and I'm like, I don't know if he would have been picked on in any type of way. Sean, it was, you know.
He paper bag. He made
all y'all middle ground joints. Y'all, you know, that's something.
They called it back in the day the paper bag. You had to be the same color as the paper bag and up, and you was
that
good.
was the thing. It's the paper bag of real.
It's asking them for an ID and a password, Tracy. I don't know.
Password is
I know what it is. I didn't, the last time I just sent the link and you accept it rather than me.
What is that, Henry? Is that what's Milkwood?
Milkwood, that's what I call him. He's in between the light skin and the brown skin, and he confused anyway. Milkwood.
All right, well, there's that. I think I shared it too.
But I can honestly say Henry he like light brown, dark, purple, green, orange, yellow.
I don't know if you can do that.
However, rather than just continue his journey to love all Black women, he is on the fight for brotherhood and not all men and rah rah rah, and I don't think that's the fight to be fought, because Henry, with all due respect, you're not a woman and you don't have experiences with the Black man and the reception that darker women get. So I would, like that you would just accept our stories, experiences, respect that, and continue to pour into us, because you love all the colored women. That's just a suggestion, like the whole fighting the good fight for the brothers that you clearly don't know out here living double lives and speaking of Black women in derogatory manner, just may not be worth the fight, is what I'm saying. Because if more women, if I know several women or a plethora of women who's saying the same thing, then chances are there are a lot of Black men who are doing this.
Lonnie, did you get the link?
He hasn't said anything. Aunt.
Hey, Aunt.
What's up?
What's good? What's good?
Thank you for joining us the second week in a row.
I'm gonna be here every Thursday if I can.
I love it. Thank you.
I work 2 to 10, so I'll be at work. You know what I mean? So I'll try.
So we don't have to wait for Lonnie. We could actually hear your side. Go for it, bro.
I agree with everything that y'all said. It does start from white supremacy, and like the sister Goldilocks said, the house Negroes were usually the lighter skinned mulatto Blacks, and they was like the stool pigeons a lot of time for the field Negroes, and they will be the buffer class to snitch and watch over the other slaves, and especially, I mean, us being African Americans, we definitely experienced this, but they had a whole social color caste system in Latin America with the Afro Latinos and the Spanish that colonized all of South America and the West Indies and all that. They had the mestizos, which was like the Spanish that mixed with the Indians, and they had the mulattoes, which were Africans and the Spaniards. They had a whole color system, a hierarchy that to this day, the Afro Latinos, they experience colorism on a social level that's super crazy. That's what one of y'all said something about like in Dominican Republic, you have Negroes that look like as dark as our sister Shay, and they be thinking, I'm Spanish. Like, no, nigga, you speak Spanish. You're a Negro.
That.
Cut that out. Just like we speak English. It's a colonized language. But and I've never had no colorism issues as far as my preference for sisters. I've been all over the rainbow with sisters.
Indeed, you have.
And I've all over, light skin, brown skin, dark skin. I will, as a kid, when you're ignorant, kids, a lot of times we don't know no better. Yep. I made jokes. I used to joan on everybody when I was a kid. So I made dark jokes, and then as I got older, that I saw how insane and foul that was.
Right there.
I didn't know no better because I would joan on everybody.
Yeah.
And when I got older, but
I said it was just that dark-skinned kids were easy targets. Like, you know what I mean? African booty scratcher. Like, we just
I didn't even know. I didn't know no better. Like, I remember I joined on everybody. We had a young boy. He was hairy. I was in like 4th grade. He was real hairy. His name was OC. He was light skinned. We used to call him Wolf Boy. he ain't like that. So I didn't realize. So but I never had like you're below me. I just used to joan. When I got older, I said, yo, we all black. That doesn't make that's insane to be like that. That's crazy. So my mother would tell you, if you talk to my mom, she was like, all you date was light-skinned girls with long hair. I'm like, that's not true. That happened for like 2 grades. That just happened to be who my little girlfriend was at the time, but that don't matter. But going to what Donetta said about taking personal responsibility. A lot of our people are still coons and like they have that internalized subconscious self-hate. And God rest his soul, my cousin, God rest his soul. Me and him used to go back and forth because he loved white women. He loved white women. And his daughter's mixed, my little cousin's mixed. Now I would actually say his baby mom was cool. She's not racist, but before he died, the chick he was dating was white, and she used to call, when they used to get in arguments, she used to call him nigger all the time. I was like, cuz, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, dog, you tripping. And his mother's dark as hell, super dark, and he used to be like, I don't like no black women. They vagina's dark. I was like, nigga, you came out of a dark vagina. The fuck is you talking about?
So how do you explain that as anything other than, oh, you don't like yourself?
Exactly.
Like how do you somebody tell me, how do you explain that as anything other than that?
I would say because like my aunt, she's on and off drugs, and through that and him going in a group home, he experienced a lot of trauma. Sometimes he might internalize that, like her being a black woman who is supposed to first love him and take care of him. It turns into a vitriol for black women, and then having all black women are ghetto and loud. I'm like, nah, no, black women are not ghetto and loud, brother. Me and my other cousins used to get on him all the time. Like, nigga, you sound retarded. You sound crazy. Mm-hmm. You sound crazy as hell. But some do that. And just some niggas is just coons. Some of our people can't be helped. Some of these niggas just can't be helped. They got to be left. So when you got a brother, I don't see no excuse for it at all. So when such a Negro start talking crazy like that, I don't like, oh, this nigga's a con. Get him the fuck away from me. I don't want to talk to him. He's canceled. If he's the brother that I saw it on y'all page, some football player tried to talk greasy. I don't think it was a colorism thing, but he was just talking greasy about Jill Scott. I was like, this nigga sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Sometimes you really truly just call it what it is. I mean, it's no holds barred around here. Like, because when my thing is, when you tiptoe around issues like this, you leave that room for one, the ignorance, and two, the excuses of not tackling the issue for what it is. So, you know, this at the end of this can lead to us encouraging some folks to legit go reach out and try to get some mental help, because it could internally, deep down at the core of why you don't like darker women, you don't like darker men, could be a trauma. It could legit be a trauma. And at the end of the day, if it's that, like, the color of someone's skin and you not being accepting of that is the least of your problems. Like, fix yourself, fix it, fix you. That was my hashtag in 2015 with Sean Covington. Fix yourself. It's not a game. It's not a game.
I hope his mother cussed his ass out.
We got Lonnie on too.
So Corey, Lonnie, I want to hear from you, but I just want to make a quick comment, because Corey said deltas and AKAs is a perfect example. We have accepted things and not dealt with it. I have seen that, and I ain't pledged to neither one of them, but I've been in the space with them both. And it is uncanny to me how I can see a group of AKAs and they are lighter skinned women, okay, less melanated women, and the vibe is totally different from when I see ladies in red who typically tend to be darker skinned women. I'm like, how did this get divided? I'm assuming years and years of division, but it's real. It's a real thing. You cannot ignore it.
But that goes from back in the day, but that has changed. Like, I know a lot of AKs that my complexion is darker. It's totally changed. But yes, back a long time ago, that was the thing. Your Kappas was darker. And that's how, your Kappas was lighter. That's how it went. And it, like I said, it all stems from back in the day, and it was carried on. It really was carried on throughout our race, and it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't.
Because we start internalizing
the
white supremacist perspective of ourselves. We start seeing ourselves through their eyes, and that has never helped us.
Just to get by, because they figured, if you were lighter, you were going to be more privileged. You were going to have more space to grow and be somebody. And darker where you wasn't nothing. Like, that's how it was taught, and it's still the same way now, because it was carried on generation after generation down the line.
Guys, but at the end of the day, we're out here fighting for all of our rights, but we decide that this is the one thing that we don't want to change.
Exactly.
Like, this has to also be addressed. Like, Black Lives Matter, but not the dark skinned ones. What are we talking about?
I'll never forget when I think Puffy was the first person. He was, and I think I remember when it happened, to put a dark skinned woman as the main female in his video. And they made a big deal out of it because it was
that was a good point, Corey.
All your exotic women and all your lighter women, but he threw a little curveball in there one time, and everybody was like, "Wait, like, what's going on here?" And it switched the whole game up, all because of what he did. Same thing we need to do. We need to switch it up, and it's just crazy to me. The whole situation is wild to me.
Tory Lanez did that a couple years ago. He stopped the video shoot. It was like, "Why all these sisters in here light skin? I need some dark skinned sisters in here."
And I don't mind the light.
People shouted them out for that.
But when you have the majority and you're not having a whole rainbow, as you call it, and having a mixture, I have an issue with that. Because literally, if you go back to your old videos, it was nothing but light-skinned women.
It's a clear message. Clear message. It's subliminal, but it's very, very clear.
That false standard of beauty that the light is right.
Yep.
And I've met some ugly light-skinned sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They still are sisters, but some of them look like Beetlejuice's niece.
Well, there's that. Lonnie, listen.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't. Listen, nobody on our panel makes apologies.
Right.
Like, don't do it. Listen, we are okay. We good.
Hey, yo, some niggas think just because they light skinned, they fly. Nah. Stop.
I know it. The men do it too. They do it.
Honey.
Oh, I want to say one thing. Y'all mentioned about bleaching. There's the African sisters do that a lot. That cake soap, they be looking crazy. They be like, damn, you look crazy.
The what?
They cake soap. Especially the West Africans and Nigerians, they be.
Oh, the bleaching?
Yeah, that cake soap and all that bleaching, they be looking
That's
super
that
crazy.
self-hate. They got their own issues.
I be like, that's crazy. And then some of them be hating on American sisters and shit like that.
Amen.
I had an issue with that.
Corey said ugly is across the board.
Yes, Corey.
Hilarious.
Yes,
Lonnie, what you got for us, baby?
Yes.
What's up, brother?
I'm just listening, man. Up until, like I say, about like 5 years ago, I used to do the whole light skin, dark skin shit like everybody did. And then you like Anthony, like you said earlier, you grow. You get to a point where you grow, where you recognize it doesn't make any sense. White people look at us as black, period. If I get pulled over, I'm light skinned. My daughter
One big nigga.
mixed, and I tell her all the time when she gets pulled over, or if she ever gets pulled over, someone looks at her, they look at her as black. So dark skin, light skin, it doesn't matter. We are black, period. And we got to get away from it. You know, we got to stop because we're splitting ourselves. We're splitting ourselves, and then we expect them to accept us, but we're not accepting ourselves. How can you expect white people to respect all black people if they sit in a room and watch us tear each other apart?
Hello.
And that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So
Hello.
if you're not there yet, you have to get there. I had a friend of mine, I put up a post the other day, it was just a picture of me, it was a selfie. I know sometimes I do that shit, it's stupid, right? But he came on and he said, that's some light skin shit. And I said, I don't do that, man. I said, I don't do that. That's
Shout
what
out
I
to
am.
you.
I said, we don't do that. We don't do
Shut
that.
that shit down.
And he was like, well, you know, a few years ago. I said, yeah, that was a few years ago. I grew up. We don't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it just doesn't make sense. Me personally, I had this conversation with Danetta the other day when we were out, and Tracy, talking about like my preference as far as women, what I've liked. I've dated, like you said, Anthony, everybody or every complexion, whatever it may be. But you always have a preference on what you like, and I just don't understand. But I get it now. You know, I had to learn from some people that, especially in the South, black, darker skinned women and darker skinned men were treated worse. And then we see it on TV.
Absolutely.
Like mentioned in videos, you see is always the light skinned girl in a video. You know what I'm saying? Or the light skinned girl getting the lead role. So if corporate America, like you mentioned earlier, if they're more acceptable to a light skinned person, then does that mean we have to take the same path? Do we have to be more acceptable to light skinned people?
We change the narrative.
We gotta start looking at each other as we are all the same. We are all the same. They may hire that way, but that doesn't mean we gotta do the same shit. So you're dark skinned, right? So if corporate America says I'm gonna hire him because he's light skinned, what you gonna do? You gonna change your skin? You just got to change the way that you look at things. You know, we got to put ourselves in better positions so we don't have to go to them for all the jobs. And when we do go to them for the jobs, we're not doing the same thing that we're mad at them for. So we got to change this whole view, man, on the way that we look at things as far as colorism is concerned, because they don't give a fuck about us, man. We all the same. We all the same thing to them.
One big nigga.
You know, huh?
We one big nigga to the white supremacists.
Flat up, flat out. They think I'm gonna take their white woman. I don't even want.
Yeah.
I would say collectively, our self-esteem as Black people is very low.
Yep.
I can
Collectively,
go with that.
we're
I can
too
go with
low.
that.
We look for white approval. We have so much aggression and self-hatred for each other, but we don't have the same energy for white supremacy. Like you got a lot of gangster niggas, they'll shoot up a neighborhood, but when them same gangster niggas, when the cops come around, they turn into damn Don Lemon and want to record instead of putting in work. It's a whole,
Jesus.
it be like y'all niggas if a Black person step on your damn shoe, you'll blow his head off. But as soon as these race soldiers come around, y'all same tough niggas, now y'all want to turn into TMZ recorders and I got it on video. Why don't you put in work? Put in some work. Get the race soldier up off your homie. We just got a lot of pathologies and a lot of behaviors in our community that we have to stop. We have to stop. And that is like the topic at hand is one of them. I wish a nigga would say in my presence, man, I just want a light-skinned girl. I'd be like, okay, why? What's wrong with a dark-skinned girl? Or she pretty for a dark-skinned girl. I like that nigga.
That's dumb. That's dumb, you know.
For those, I just want to laugh real quick, right? For those who are tuning in for the second week in a row, y'all remember Ant. So Ant is just coming out of Facebook jail. And I think y'all can know why at this point. Like he is a no holds bar, no nonsense Black brother. Like I stand by him because he does not care. What you look like. He does not carry the bros before hoes mentality. You can be a whole dude vibing with him, say something out of the way about his beliefs or the Black culture, and you will catch it. The whole
family members get into. I got family members on timeout. They start coming on my page cooning. I'm like, listen, I'm about to block your ass. I'll text you later, but you're gonna be blocked on social media.
So I say that to say, and you want then stop it because we ain't gonna be able to connect next week.
Oh, we on Zoom. We ain't on Facebook. We on Zoom. That's all right. We on Zoom.
Yeah. So
no, but we do got to stop some of the stuff and educate those who want to be educated. But some of our people, if you try to correct some of their crazy thinking, they'll argue back with you.
No doubt.
The leader, so I said, everybody can't come.
And I agree. And with that being said, at the end of the day, we only want the audience that's willing to pull a Lonnie. And what I mean by pull a Lonnie, be able to accept your shit. Be like, I was on this 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago, but I'm on something different. Don't let people hold you hostage to an old ideology or old behavior or old way when you know now it just don't feel good in your spirit. Yep. You know what I mean? Maybe you done had children now, and now like honey say he got a Black daughter at this point, and his daughter, your daughter is she's what is your daughter again? What is she mixed with, Lonnie?
Her mom is Korean and Black, so
Korean, right?
I have to explain to her that you are 75% Black now, young lady. So you black.
You mentioned that
Korean
over the weekend. So my point is like,
that's all you got left.
There you go. So at the end of the day, it's like, listen, because at the end of the day, I think both of you said it in a nutshell. It doesn't make sense. The ideology behind the whole yellow, light skin, dark skin makes no sense. It didn't make sense 400 years ago, but we didn't know it didn't make sense because our ancestors was ignorant. They was ignorant by force, not by choice.
Yeah.
We ain't got to be that ignorant. It just doesn't have to exist. So we can change the narrative through behavior, through our own ways. Check your shit. That's it. Check yourself. Yep. Be aware, be conscious of what you're putting out there, right? And let's just do better. Like, and at the end of the day, again, we got to start somewhere, right? I'm pretty sure that this conversation has touched a lot of people, and not in a whole, oh yes, I'm healed kind of way. It's some tender folks that done checked in and they done checked out. At the end of the day, my message to those folks would be, thank you for tuning in. And if if for a second you felt some kind of little about it, chances are you got some soul searching to do, right? Some changing of ways to do. And if you don't want to, then great. This ain't it. You ain't ready for the revolt. You ain't ready for the Black revolt, because this is the only way we will be unified. It's no other way. We can hashtag, we can wear shirts, we can wear masks with BLM on it, we can I can't breathe, and we can do all that. But at the end of the day, let's talk about the stuff in our own community too. Because if we don't start there and begin to heal, gel those things together, I promise you they're gonna pick us apart every time, because they know our weak spots. They gonna know that. So at the end of the day, it's never gonna work. So we want the folks that's ready. Like at the end of the day, pull a Lonnie. That's my hashtag. Change your ways. Be different. Do something different. The mom be like, let me take a Black girl out on dinner. Let that be me. Let that be me.
Joint.
Let's take this darky out.
She eat a lot. Don't take her.
Shade. We'll take it offline, sir. Not gonna do that. Any other takeaways? Because I be feeling like I be talking too much, y'all. Y'all got any takeaways?
No, same thing. It starts with us first. You can't be out here talking about Black Lives Matter and whatever else. That comes along with a lot of stuff. We need to fix ourselves first within our own community first.
Yeah.
I think that's true in the sense that we have more power to change our reality instead of just. We should complain about the injustice and stuff, but we got more power than we give ourselves credit for. Because other groups, they control whole industry, they control the economy, and they have less numbers than us. They have a code. We don't have a code. They got a code of conduct. Let me tell you something. Like the agents, their code is sell to everybody, buy from each other. That's a code they have.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? The Asians, the Jewish people, they control whole industries and deal with each other on an economic level. They have a code. Another code they have. Most other groups, they'll never sit around Black people and down each other.
Period.
Like on no white person get up on TV and start shitting on other white people. You got Negroes, they'll do that all the time. They're off code. That's why they get dragged. When you prime example, what Kanye was doing. That's why he got dragged. Like, nigga, you off code. You all hugging on Donald Trump. You looking bad. You a representative. He not a leader. We need to stop making celebrities and shit like that our leaders.
No, but they do have platforms. So I get what you're saying. With your platform, you definitely can't afford to be doing that.
Nope.
That ain't gelling us together at all.
We don't have a code. Like even in the street, these niggas out here killing little kids. That's against the code. What is you doing? Even
women and children. It used to be a time women and children was off limits. Now
I'm from Philly.
I don't feel safe.
I'm from Philly. You have a lot of Italians, and I used to have some Italian homies that.
Yeah, you from Philly?
Yeah,
I'm from Philly too, man.
Oh, sweet. Philly in the house.
I had Italian homies that I used to do some dumb shit with when I was younger, and he told me, and his family's in the mafia. He said, Blacks and Latinos, y'all kill women and children. We don't do that. We just kill other gangsters. So, he said, y'all do that. And they do. Like Mexicans, they'll drown the fish. They'll kill the dog. They'll kill everything. Grandma, everybody. We do anything. And we don't have a code. When we get a code, an unwritten code of us first in every sector, whether it's community thing, like when you see a sister about to get a man and a sister arguing, and he looked like he's about to get violent with her, your code should be
pulling
what's
out
up?
Your phone.
What's up? What you doing? Y'all can argue, but you're not about to put your hands on that sister. That's a code. That's a code. You see a black child. I saw a black child walking on the highway. Me and like 6 other Black people. This was down Pennsylvania Avenue. We got out the car like, you all right? Where you going? Oh, my mom let me walk to school. All right, let's get you to school safely. That's a code. We gotta look out for each other. and we ain't gonna always get along. We don't know there's infighting in every group, but every group has a code of us first, especially against black people. They ain't gonna never. And that's why, like, when white people get off code and they start telling the truth, or they're non-racist white people, they get called nigger lovers. Damn, you a nigger lover. You talking about you know what I'm saying? We gotta have a code.
So they exile them in a minute, like, no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that. That ain't what we doing.
Speaking of that, my cousin, my cousin's name was John, God rest his soul. His baby mama Dana, she's Italian. She told me, she said, "Yo, there's some white dudes who won't date me because I got a baby by a black man." You know what I'm saying? They got a code. The white supremacists got a code. We gotta have a code. A code of. I was reading some. I'm gonna stop. I'm long with it. I apologize. I'm a Virgo. I talk a lot. I'm sorry. But
I was finna shut you off, but I'm gonna let you do this one.
This one last thing. So I saw something about support black businesses, like go out of your way to support black businesses. And me and other people is on Instagram. It was like, it should be normal. It should be normal. Almost every service provider I have is black. Credit repair, realtors, my doctor, my dentist, my landscaper, almost everybody. I go out of my way I ain't gonna say I don't eat at no white restaurants or no chain restaurant, but damn near 90% of everybody I do business with is black.
Shout out.
It's a way of life.
I love it.
Let me say something on that too. When we see, let's say, when we see white people talking about they had bad experience with a business, they don't get done and finish the conversation and say, see, this is why I don't support white businesses, right? This is what happens with us, right? We have a bad experience with a restaurant or, a landscaper, let's say. They did a terrible job, right? And we go to tell everybody, it's nothing wrong if you want to tell everybody that you had a bad experience with them and not to use them if that's how you feel. But don't make that your excuse for not supporting all the rest of the black businesses out here or whatever they are. You don't do that shit when it's white people. You don't say, oh, I had a bad experience with this person and end it with, this is why I don't do this. It's the same way as like when a black man or a black woman says she had a bad experience with a black man. She's like, this is why I don't deal with black men. Or this is why I don't deal with black women. We got to stop, using that as a
standard is different. Oh, yeah. The standard is different.
You can hold the standard differently, but at the same time, though, you can't blame the entire culture. You may expect more because you're people, but you can't blame everybody else for this one person being a lazy motherfucker as far as like, in a restaurant industry. They own a restaurant, they're not treating you right. They gave you, didn't give you the best food, so you expect them. Or do you expect them because they're black to give you a stronger drink or more food?
So the expectation is different as well. And
right.
then when those expectations aren't met, now you have a negative experience.
So it's like, we gotta stop doing that, man.
You have to start with the automatic hookup. That has to end.
Yeah.
Put value in my business.
Absolutely.
You do not pull up at any of these Caucasian establishments and be like,
let me get a hookup.
You don't do that. You don't do that.
Sir, we'll call the cops on and hook your ass up in jail for the night.
We are our worst enemies. We are our worst enemies.
For sure.
Sometimes we gotta hear this though. We gotta hear this from each other.
I agree.
Because sometimes we don't even recognize the stupid shit that we're doing.
Calling each other out, Lonnie. We need to call each other out. Period. You got to pull me by my coattail.
We had a couple. I've been in a couple before COVID started, but it can still happen through Zoom. A couple of men's groups where men got together and sat around and talked about their issues as men and how they can help each other become better. It was mainly it was black men, right? We got to hold each other, like you said, hold each other accountable. We got to talk about these issues. A lot of men, I would say more black men than black women, don't recognize that the trauma that they had when they were younger, or the issues that they had that they were younger, needs to be addressed, right? So they'll sit there and eat it and use it as an excuse to go through the rest of your life handling things the way that they handled them when they were younger. Listen, I'm here to tell you, anybody that's paying attention, any man that's paying attention, there's nothing wrong with you if you go to therapy.
Word.
Period. Like, so you're going to sit around, you're going to be 30, 40 years old. You're going to live another 40 years with the shit that happened to you when you're 20 years old and you can't understand why you're doing certain things. You need to go talk to somebody.
Yep.
That person's not going to change you. It doesn't make you weaker. You're actually weaker. You're a weaker person if you think you can accept help, if you just know it all and you know how to do shit. So anybody that feels like there's something wrong or there's a reason, they don't understand why they're doing something, or they keep doing something that just doesn't make sense, or you keep running to a wall in your career or relationships or whatever the fucking thing is, you may need to talk to somebody. That person may talk to you for a month or two and make you a much stronger person. So there's nothing wrong with that shit at all. We gotta like attack these problems to get better. You know what I'm saying? I learned it when I was in my 20s. I went to therapy when I was in my 20s because my father died when I was in my teens and I didn't know why I was doing certain things.
Right.
And then discovered a whole bunch of shit when I was in college as to why I was handling things in a certain way. And from that point forward, I was like, all right, there's nothing wrong with this because it made things better for my life. So even if we had issues with things that happened to us when we were younger, because I'm gonna tell you what, you know, talking to people, man, there's a lot of things, and I'm not sure how it happens in other communities, but there's a lot of things that have happened to our Black women. There are a lot of things that happened to Black men when we were kids that affected the way that we became. We got to deal with that shit, man. You know, and even with the whole issue of someone looking down on you because you're dark skinned, but elevating you because you're light skinned. That's just stupid. Because at the end of the day, they look at us all the same.
Yep.
We all Black. They don't be like, oh, I'm not hiring her. She's too dark for my office. They be like, no, Black or not. You know what I'm saying? Especially us. Shit, I'm light skinned, but I ain't no little dude. So it's like they look at me like, I'm a little nervous around him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear to go back to the whole therapy thing that Lonnie spoke about. Black
I knew
men.
you was gonna go back to that.
Therapy is sexy as fuck. Let me offer you some incentive from a female energy standpoint. To hear a guy talk about, and you don't have to overshare, I get it, like peeling back all those traumas is like traumatizing in itself. Mm-hmm. However, I'm trying to tell you, it's nothing more magnetizing and attractive than a man that own his own stuff and be like, man, listen, I don't come from the best childhood, and you know, I had some things and I had to see somebody, and you know, I'm just working on me. Oh, it's something, honey.
Did it hit you?
It's something. It like, and it just makes me want to be more vulnerable to you. It makes me want to be more in tune with you. And man, I'm telling you, the incentive, Black men, for you going to see somebody and peeling back all the BS bravado that you walk around with, I'm telling you, it's something different. Your woman to open up some things to you. That's all I got. No, that's all I got. She gonna open up some things to you that you never imagined if you do it right. Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you guys I'm so sorry, not sorry. Thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate you. And I thank you for coming on the second week in a row. It's always great. Lonnie, you might have to be a new permanent fixture on the show as well. We appreciate you guys. Good night. And we're about to just close this thing out.
Good night, y'all.
Y'all be blessed, be empowered, y'all.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.
See ya.
Well, hey, so are we still on, y'all ladies?